I'm Dr. Robert F. Mullen. This is a brief introduction to an upcoming series of videos that will define proactive neuroplasticity and the deliberate, repetitive neural information that restructures our neural network. Now, neuroplasticity is the scientific evidence of our brain's adaptability to learning. Without plasticity, the human brain is incapable of learning. Our body's incapable of sustaining life. Now, research has established that our neural network is a dynamic organism, constantly adapting and rebuilding to each new input of information. Scientists refer to the process of neuroplasticity as structural remodeling of the brain. But by deliberately enhancing the process, we can proactively transform our thoughts, behaviors, and perspectives, creating healthy new mindsets, skills, and abilities. All information notifies our neural pathways to restructure, generating a correlated change in behavior and perspective. Now, information comes in the form of sight, sound, tactile impression, experience, behavior, phenomena, and so on, all things that impact our neural system. So this series of videos will illustrate how information is algorithmically coded into positive or negative electrical energy, creating the activity that modifies our neural network. How the deliberate, repetitive neural input of information, or DRNI, strengthens and solidifies the connections between neurons, dramatically accelerating and consolidating learning through synaptic neurotransmission. We will learn how the context, intention, and content of our information correlates to its effectiveness and durability. So these videos will outline how the science of neuroplasticity evolved, differentiating reactive and active from proactive neural input. They will diagram the trajectory of neural information and how it impacts the various lobes of the human brain responsible for cognitive learning. How the neural input of information, coded into electrical energy, causes a receptive neuron to fire that energy onto a sensory neuron, which forwards the information to millions upon millions of participating neurons. And they will show how this cellular chain reaction reciprocates that initial electrical energy in abundance due to the amplified neural response. So positive information in, positive energy multiplied millions of times, positive energy reciprocated in abundance. See, each neural input of information impacts millions of neurons as they restructure our neural network to a form conducive to a positive self-image. And subsequently, natural hormonal neurotransmissions reward our activity with GABA for relaxation and dopamine for pleasure, endorphins for euphoria and serotonin for a sense of well-being, as well as hormones that support our motivation, enhance our memory, and improve concentration. However, since our brain doesn't distinguish healthy from toxic information, the neurotransmission of pleasurable and motivational hormones happens whether we feed it self-destructive or constructive information. See, that's one of the reasons breaking a habit or keeping to a resolution or achieving a desired goal is challenging, and why positive informational input is crucial for recovery and self-transformation. Contemporary wisdom disputes the effectiveness of one-size-fits-all approaches to behavior modification. So these videos will show how an integration of science and East and West psychologies is best suited to positive modification of our thoughts and behaviors. Science gives us proactive neuroplasticity. Cognitive behavioral modification and positive psychology's optimal functioning are Western approaches. And Eastern practices give us Abhidharma psychology and the overarching truths of ethical behavior. See, our neural system has been conditioned by our core and intermediate beliefs, and dysfunction and experience negatively impact these beliefs, generating automatic negative thoughts called ants that impact our emotional well-being and quality of life. Now, these individuated perspectives illustrate the need for personality targeting to support the diversity of human thought and experience. The mechanics of Hebbian learning will be defined, how the repeated and persistent proactive input of information correlates to more robust and more effective learning. Hebb's rule states, the more repetitions, the quicker and more robust the connections. So harmful behaviors are unlearned and new ones adopted through deliberate and calculated activity. And negative core and intermediate beliefs are challenged and replaced by healthy and life-affirming ones. Videos will demonstrate how deliberate, repetitive neural information not only alleviates the symptoms of physiological dysfunction and discomfort, but empowers us, generating the motivation, persistence, and perseverance to achieve our goals and objectives. Now, the process of proactive neuroplasticity is theoretically simple, but challenging due to the commitment and endurance required for the long-term repetitive process. But we don't advance to Wimbledon without decades of practice with racket and balls and philharmonics cater to pianists who've spent years at the keyboard. DRNI requires a calculated regimen of deliberate, repetitive neural information that is not only tedious, but also fails to deliver immediate, tangible results, causing us to readily concede defeat and abandon hope in this era of instant gratification. However, the positive impact of proactive neuroplasticity is exponential due to the abundant neural reciprocation and the neurotransmission of hormones that generate motivation, persistence, and perseverance. The next videos in these series will explore the crucial difference between active, reactive, and proactive neuroplasticity. They will discuss the origins of neuroplasticity and how scientists are now able to glance into the inner workings of our brain as it processes information, illustrating the dynamic and constant adaptability of our neural network. So, please subscribe to this series below and join us as we explore this paradigmatic approach to behavioral self-modification.